Nima, welcome to CanAm. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for participating in this question and answer. You know, you've been around for a long time in the industry. You've seen a lot, 5,000, I believe it's 5,000 applications. So I'm sure you have a lot of input that we'd really, like to hear about too.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. It's freezing in New York, so that's always nice. But I'm going to brave the cold, and I'm going to ask you the questions I think the investors that are tuning in want to know. So let me ask you: capital market constraints, high interest rates, liquidity. How is that affecting the EB5 market? How is that affecting you as a regional center?
Yeah, huge. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it's not. It's affecting the whole world. Let's face it. And the U.S. markets are really tight. It's not just about interest rates, which it's also about the availability of capital. Banks, debt markets, people are scared to lend in this market. And if they do lend, they want to see you put in a lot more equity, meaning these developers, and they're going to give you a smaller percentage than they used to when interest rates were a lot lower. So we are experiencing that on many levels. Ironically, we're seeing a lot of developers, top-notch developers who are approaching us for EB5 capital that, in the past they could have gotten capital other places. And we're hearing stories. I mean, people are having a tough time. Part of it is hybrid and offices and what happened after COVID, and that's clearly affecting the market. But there's no question that this increase of interest rates this quickly has dampened financing, and that financing has created problems. So I think in terms of EB5, you got to be really, really careful what projects you do. And historically, we would look at gateway projects in big cities and multifamily and things of that nature. Those projects may not be the best projects to be doing right now.
I think that's exactly what I wanted to ask you next is, okay, you're a regional center, CanAm is the broker-dealer. You sit in this world of EB5 where you have to be able to underwrite a project in terms of investment as well as exit. It also has to be, interesting and attractive to investors.
Right.
So are these market constraints, capital market constraints, just changing the projects that you're looking at to bring to market?
I think it has. Look, our business, it has always been the same thing. We're conservative. We put ourselves in our investors' shoes. You're doing this for two reasons for the most part. Immigration, everybody needs your immigration benefits, but you also want your $800,000 is a lot of money for anyone. Abroad, in the US, $800,000 is a lot. So what kind of projects are we going to do? We've taken a look at what's going on in the country, and we basically are doing projects, and there's an attractiveness to rural. But ironically, rural projects are being incentivized by programs. The Inflation Act, for example, has put in billions, $50 billion to encourage rural broadband. Well, $50 billion of grants given to states that are giving it to these, these people, these sponsors of these broadband projects, that's a big deal. I mean, that's like almost you're going to get 50% equity just from the government. I want to do where all the odds are in my favor, and right now, what we're seeing is broadband, green hydrogen projects, infrastructure. Those are the things that are incentivized by the federal government through a lot of these acts recently, and I think we're really pleased with that. These are bigger projects, they're in rural, but they also have, they're big sponsors with a lot of credibility because these sponsors have to be approved by the states. So there is some credibility, for example, in broadband. We're going with the flow. These are good projects. They meet the program's requirements of creating jobs. That's what the incentive is in the RIA. And I think it's been really well received in the market. And I think we're going to continue to do it.
Thank you very much, Tom. I really appreciate that insight.
You're welcome.